Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part podcast, Volkswagen might break their long promise of having no layoffs, and they might even close some plants in Germany as the company continues to struggle. And the CEO, I still can't believe they did this publicly, recently said the company, well, they're no longer viable as a business. The brand Volkswagen is basically not selling. And granted, they do have a large portfolio of better brands, in my opinion, like Porsche. But I partially digress. This comes to us thanks to Yahoo Finance, the OG search engine from back in the day, which still gets about, well, I would say I'm about half their web traffic these days, but I'm only partially exaggerating a bit. They say, and it's also from the Associated Press, saying, quote, Volkswagen aims to cancel a non-layoffs pledge and won't rule off closing plants in Germany. And it doesn't help that China is eating their breakfast, so to say, with more and more EVs dominating the global market. There you can see one of their, actually, I don't want to say it's a little disappointing, but that's actually a picture of their headquarters over in Wolfsburg, Germany from 2021. And I mean, I don't want to say a kid with Legos could have designed a better building, but oh no, I do. I would say a kid with Legos could have designed a better building. Granted, this is just one part of the building, but it literally just looks like a giant rectangle. Though it does have the VW logo at the very top, which at least the logo signage does look to be quality made. At least it's more three-dimensional. So there's that. But going back to the actual substance of the company and the business, they say, quote, Germany's Volkswagen says auto industry headwinds mean it can't rule out plant closures in its home country, and it might drop a long-standing job protection pledge it has been enforced since 1994 that would have barred layoffs since 2029. Which, again, I don't mean to derisively laugh at that idea. I think it's a good goal to have, but nearly every business throughout history has had to have layoffs at one time or another, and sometimes it is unfortunately necessary in order to make the businesses viable. And again, sometimes they do hire them back. So again, it's a good intention, but I can't believe, I wonder how binding this pledge is. Now, Volkswagen Group CEO Oliver Bloom says, quote, the European automotive industry is a very demanding and in a serious situation. Unquote. He said new competitors entering the European markets, Germany's deteriorating position as in manufacturing location, and needs to, quote, act decisively rather. Now, some of the positions I would say are divisive in terms of the automotive community. They keep, what's a nice way of saying this, acquiescing to the demands of the big old government European Union, which is the reason why they're killing the Porsche Cayman, which is disgusting. They say it's because of cybersecurity reasons, because of the EU. It's also emissions, and yeah, European, now it's going to be an EV, which again, in terms of a track car, utter trash with the current technology that we have. Because again, if you go to the track, you want to be able to actually drive and not wait hours to charge the damn thing. And also, you don't have to worry about liability of having lithium-ion battery cells on the track, which most tracks don't have insurance for, or fire suppression technologies for. But I partially digress. You also have Thomas Shavers, the CEO of Volkswagen Passenger Cars, saying, quote, they are reducing costs and they are looking for yielding results, but their headwinds have become significantly stronger. European automakers are facing increased competition from inexpensive Chinese electric cars, which is also a hilarious thing, almost like the UAW voting for Biden to make gas cars nearly illegal in the United States. The ultimate irony. Now you have that happening in Europe too. Again, China is going to eat everyone's lunch, very similar to the smartphone dominance, and that's pretty much why pretty much every smartphone is made in China, or with the exception of Samsung, which is mostly in Korea. Now, they say that, quote, the company's half-year results indicate that they will not achieve their target of 10 billion euros in cost savings by 2026, which is their previous goal. The discussion around closures and layoffs for the company's core Volkswagen brand. The core brand saw operating earnings sag to 1.1 billion from 1.64 billion euros a year before earlier. So again, from European monopoly money, it's 966 euros from 1.64 billion euros. They didn't give the other correlation for the percentage or for the US dollars. They say, quote, the group also includes luxury brands Audi and Porsche, which have higher profit margins. How dare they ignore the iconic brand of Lamborghini, which is disappointing because they're making, hybrids and V8s as opposed to, V10s, V12s, and they're all automatic these days in terms of transmission choices. But yeah, of all the iconic things in the Volkswagen portfolio, how can you forget about Lamborghini? And you also have Ducati, and you have Bugatti as well. I mean, there's a lot of that kind of things. Yahoo Finance, you're slipping. But they say, quote, the company sought to cut costs through early retirements and buyouts to avoid forced layoffs, but is now saying those measures might not be enough. Last summer with the General Motors account. Let's see the parallels between them when they went bankrupt for the third time in 2009. Now, say the additional measures affecting plant or job guarantees would be negotiated with worker representatives. They said the plant closing would be the first since the U.S. plant in Westboro, Pennsylvania, closed in 1988, according to DPA U.S. agencies. Union officials and worker representatives attacked the idea of closures and more layoffs. Say management's approach is, quote, not only short-sighted but dangerous, and has the risk of destroying the heart of Volkswagen, which, yeah, it's a very, very, very high cost of labor. And again, these companies, I don't know, my 3 cents, used to be 2 cents, but 40-year hyperinflation, gotta be 3 cents. Every automotive company should be fighting these government regulations that are putting them out of business. Because again, you cannot beat China when it comes to a price point. And it's just damn near impossible. And again, if you want mass EV adoption that governments are wanting, well, that's one of the biggest barriers to entry is the price point of those. Well, also, long-term reliability is crap, but also the price point as well. They say, quote, top employee representative Daniel Gustavo said that, quote, management has failed. These consequences of attack on our employees, our locations, and our labor agreements. There'll be no closing plans with us. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it also doesn't help. Again, it's not always, I'm not just trying to attack the employees, because again, there are some issues with Volkswagen. Again, the government's pushing down with all these mandates, rules, and stipulations when it comes to pollutants. Of course, China has a big do whatever they want with those nice coal plants being built as we can count. But yeah, Volkswagen's also had some issues throughout the years with Dieselgate. That was a couple years back, and management's made some shady decisions in the past that caused them to pay billions of dollars in fines. So that's not helping with their brand integrity as well. And also, I'm not sure how. I mean, I'm still astonished. The company said we don't think our brand is no longer viable, which, I mean, Volkswagen, well, it's a little bit better because they stopped making so many stick shifts. I believe the GTI is now just the automatic, the Golf, because again, government mandates. So yeah, anecdotally speaking, I'm trying to think, when was the last time do any of my friends actually drive an actual Volkswagen product? I have a couple friends who have been very fortunate to the point where they have Porsches in their garages. Hope to inspire one of these days. But in terms of like Volkswagen vehicle, my dad had a Jetta like 30 plus years ago. He loved that thing. He drove that till the wheels fell off. Well, actually, it was more like transmission broke through the floorboards, but close enough. In terms of someone I know now who owns a Volkswagen, I mean, Beetles were really hot back in the day. That reiteration was good marketing, especially around the 2000s era. So popular is even the video game on the N64, Beetle Adventure Racing, which I think it's one of the few games I still don't have yet. Might have to dust off that or find one of those on the electronicbay.com one of these days. But in all seriousness, do you know anyone right now who drives a Volkswagen vehicle? Not a Porsche, not a Lamborghini, an actual VW vehicle. I know one person in the past 2 years I've met. He was a great guy. I had my interview podcast, Topping Talks, and he was not more of an automotive enthusiast. Oh no, I know someone. Actually, interestingly enough, maybe it's who I'm interviewing on the interview show, Topping Talks. Past couple people I've interviewed have had VWs. They're the older ones, the Ghost, relatively old. They had nice stick shifts. So one had the Jetta, and then one had the GTI. Oh no, he had the PDK. I can't believe Jordan did that. But in all seriousness, do you know anyone who drives a Volkswagen Beetle? Do you think they'll be able to make it out? Again, they're one of the largest, most iconic brands out there, and they have a very, very diverse portfolio of individual car companies that they own. But do you think they'll be able to make it out through this forced government transition to EVs? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I really appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.